Hi, you guys. Happy Saturday, June 29th. It's 4 a.m. I woke up. I went to bed real early. It's a Saturday morning, but I woke up and I tried to go back to sleep, but I'm still awake, so I thought I'd start to seize the day. I am so excited. My life has just completely changed. Okay, this is about grief. But, okay, let me just take you back. Not all the way, because there's already podcasts about that. Just like a week or so. Okay, so 5 years is coming up. Allexanne's anniversary, when she passed July 4th, 2019. And June 27th was the last day I saw her. So the past week's been tough. Real tough. I don't know how to feel. And it's like, you don't have to know, Sky, just feel it. So the first couple of years, I can't say I embrace, I don't know, it's tricky because my perspective towards grief was like, nah, you can't get me. Like, absolutely not. I will not be a victim. You can't catch me, but thank you so much. But I would still learn from it, and I would dive into it on my own time, like to work through it. I didn't completely ignore it. It was like, you can't get me when you want to get me. Like, that just doesn't work for me. I'm in control of my emotions. Like, thank you, but no thank you. And then when I was on my own, doing my journaling, I'd dive into it and, like really try to ask myself questions, like not make myself cry, but just like get so deep so I could let it all out and just work through it. But it still came up in random occasions. And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll change my strategy, perspective towards this. I know it's not a strategy, you just have to embrace it. But so that's what I did. I was like, okay, I'll sit with this. But I feel like I've been sitting with it for a long time now, and it sucks. Like, it's just not, like, it's like, this morning it hit me again. Like, last Thursday, it hit so hard. Like, as I mentioned, it was a grief attack where I don't know, like a panic attack. It's just, you can't breathe. You're just trying to focus on, like, taking a breath. And then when you can breathe, you see flashbacks, and it's like, oh man, like this is tough. So I sat with it and processed it. And was like, okay, cool. I'm doing the thing. I'm processing grief. I'm sitting in the puddle, letting the wave pass. And then 20 minutes ago, it started to hit again. Not a grief attack, but just like, okay, the 27th is passed. The 4th is coming up. Makes me a little bit nervous, just how I'm going to feel. And then it was like, well, don't be nervous. I've noticed a pattern. I always feel a bit just uneasy and so many emotions leading up to these days, like leading up to her anniversary or leading up to her birthday, because I'm nervous for that day and how I'm going to feel and if I'm just going to be absolutely wrecked. But I found on February 17th last year, or this year, feels like a year ago, I ended up being invited to run a nice little marathon / half marathon / whatever distance you wanted to run to celebrate someone's birthday. And I thought that was so beautiful. And I actually loved that day. And it was such a phenomenal day here in London. I made so many new friends. And I used Alexanne's birthday as fuel. And I ran 24K that day, fasted, just for fun. Because it was like, first I ran, I don't know how many kilometers with people and just to make friends. And then after it was like, okay, happy birthday to you. I love you. I'm just going to keep running until I feel like stopping. And so I did that. So now I was thinking, you know what? I might even feel great on the 4th. Like, I've been going about this all wrong. I'm going to give you a visual because that just is what just clicked for me and I think will change my life. Hopefully yours too if you're dealing with grief or just listen so that when time comes, because someone's gonna die, you're prepared. Because I ever looked into grief before anyone died. Now I've read some books and listened to some podcasts, and I've learned a lot. And just my own experiences. So first couple of years, I feel like the wave hit. Like, imagine a wave, a literal wave. It hit, and I dodged it. It was like, nope, can't get me, haha, thanks. But no thanks. And I stayed in my positive, happy. I still learned. Sometimes it felt like, okay, I'd go into the pool and, like, into the deep end and be like, I'm going to swim. But that's just not how it works. Like, you can't learn to surf by going into a pool. Like, a little bit, yeah, but not the real thing. And that's how it felt like. Which I wasn't embracing it. Like, I didn't harness grief. So then it felt like the wave hit. And you think you're riding the wave? Or I told myself, riding the wave. Really, I was getting tumbled in it. Like, absolutely tumbled. And then you just try to take a breath and you're like, okay, I'm, whatever, processing it. But it's like, no, you're not really riding the wave. You're being tumbled in it. So that was me last week. Now, you guys, okay, think of Dune. If anyone saw Dune, it's like, okay, so then I thought, don't ignore it. Don't let yourself be, like, it was just kind of like, I felt 20 minutes ago, the wave coming, and I thought, like, I'm just over this. I like my life. I like when I'm feeling great. Like, I want that. It was kind of like, the last couple days have been absolutely fire, and then a little wave started to come, and I was like, oh man, like, I'm on a high right now. Like, I don't want to be hit again. So then I thought, is there another way where I don't have to be absolutely tumbled and I don't have to dodge it? So then I thought, first I thought, catch the wave. How can I, instead of dodging it, how can I catch it now? And still, before, I did use my pain as fuel before, but it wasn't like, it was still pain. Now can I transmute it quickly into power instead of pain, instead of letting pain fuel it, like, just turn it into power and beauty and gratitude immediately and then use that? Like, can I catch the wave? Can I sort of put it in my back pocket, let it swish around real quick until the energy is something else and it's like, boom. So then I thought, harness the wave. Like surfing, but not really just surfing, like actually riding it. So then I had the visual of, Dune when they're riding the sand worms. Like, they are harnessing that worm. They are riding it like you've never seen before. And then that's when I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is how I go about it. Like, I don't dodge it. I don't sit in it and sulk in it. I only did that because I thought I had to. Like, I thought that was how I could, I don't know, get through it. Like, not get through it, but grow through it. Like, sit in it. And I'm sure that helped. Because now I can see the difference. Oh, the sunshine's coming out. It's beautiful. So, and immediately I was like, yes, this is it. It's 4 a.m. and I'm so ready for the day. Mind you, I'll probably have a nap later. I went to bed real early last night, but that is quite all right. Because these things always come like when you're in bed, when you're kind of half awake, half sleeping. So I'm really excited. And I'll elaborate as I experiment with this new perspective, because I am so grateful. Like I'm so grateful. I've grown so much in the last 5 years that could have never happened without the death of Allexanne. And I do believe that I signed up for whatever I've signed up for in this lifetime before I reincarnated. So I feel like, and that's always been my perspective, at least for a really long time. So I've always tried to have a gratitude perspective towards everything, but sometimes it's just still, it's like so heavy. So I'm really excited, honestly. I feel like I've got not only a gift, but just like I almost feel like a little bit luckier than everyone. I mean, I honestly kind of am, but besides the actual luck, just in the sense of this, my perspective towards this grief and death and loss is like, wow, thank you for giving me this lesson and experience, an opportunity to grow at 23. Wow, I can't believe I was 23. Because I feel like I know the value of life. Like I know it, you guys. And I feel like you guys know that I know too. Like I am so happy when I'm happy. When I'm not, I'm not. But I just am so aware that life is so fragile and it's so precious that I'm just not going to squander it. And I had that perspective before, always sort of have, due to my parents. Thank you for teaching me that perspective. But it really locked in when Al passed. Took some time, obviously, but now I feel like I've just been given another gift where it's like, oh, you reached the next level. Like, harness that. Excuse my language. Beautiful, I didn't, I'm not even going to say the word, but like, harness that. Absolutely ride the sandworm, ride the wave. Like, not just bear the wave, but actually harness it. The power of the ocean, which is infinite across all dimensions of space and time. So I'm really excited. There was another thing I was going to say, just about the 4th coming up. Oh yeah. One thing I'm doing differently. Okay, I haven't actually done it yet, but I was going to text my friend today and asked to do something. I mean, I've done it before with like my family and our one friend who was like her sister, and we were all sisters. But I guess it's always uncomfortable for me to ask for support, like emotional support or just anything from non-family members, I guess. But it's different. I don't have my family here, so that's not an option. So, I have decided to tell a friend that I'd like to do something on the 4th. And then it just, the process behind that was that, like, I love being there for people. I love it. I feel absolutely honored. I'm so grateful when someone is like, I'm sorry, you're getting this for me or whatever. And I'm like, no, thank you. Bless your soul. I selfishly feel honored that you trust me with your emotions, yourself, your whatever it is, for like, and allow me to be there for you. So I thought, why am I denying that gift to my friends? So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to go celebrate life. And I might still feel this all being said, I might still feel some feelings, I'm sure. It's still always a lot to process because I find I try to intellectualize it. Like I just try to understand what has happened, what's going on. And I read a book on grief, The Grieving Brain. It was so knowledgeable and insightful and based on science, which I enjoyed because I think that's where a lot of my questions come from, because it's like, I just don't understand. And she explained it where, yes, you don't understand because that's just as simple as it. Your brain can't compute, like it just can't process it because it's wondering, where is this person? And then it can't find them. And then it's like, beep, like, do not enter, beep, do not enter, like, beep, like, error. And that's a lot of what's happening in your mind of, where are they? Like, they're not on this plane. And I know I've been a lot of my thoughts, but I looked at it more of a spiritual sense. Like, where is she? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I know you're here, but you're not here. What's going on? I feel you. I see you in my dreams. It's so real. I know you still exist. But where? Like, are you in the middle stage? Or are you on the other side? Like, are you reincarnated? Like, what's going on here? And the book just elaborated on say like, find my friends. You know where your friends are, and you can be like, oh, they're over here. Okay, cool. But they're not next to you, but like, they're somewhere. Where if they just disappear, then you're like, where are they? The neurological pathway can't be completed, so it gets stuck and like looped, and it's just trying to finish the pathway, but it can't. So your brain is like, what? So that gave me so much insight, because now I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense of what's happening actually inside my brain and why then it's so confusing. Now I know it's like a literal brain thing. That's it. Podcast over. Harness your grief. Absolutely harness it. It doesn't have to be grief. Harness whatever emotion you want. Don't ignore it. Embrace that emotion. If it's anger, harness that anger. I don't know how exactly. Still working on that part. But, I feel like everything's just changed. So I love you so much. Thank you for the continuous love forever and always. It really does mean the world. And I'm grateful for all of you. And I hope whatever you're going through, you grow through. And you embrace all of it. Feel gratitude for the opportunity to grow. I love you.